In most languages, my name is still Savarino. However, today you can call me a purveyor, a connoisseur even, of Hopecore. I love and have always loved Hopecore. I hold the personal philosophy that in a world filled with division and hate like our own, hope is in and of itself a form of rebellion. And so when I went into the theaters recently and saw Project Hail Mary, which I will not be spoiling for this video, don't go run and cry and scream, it's okay, I want to talk about what I liked about it, okay? Without breaching the veil, the membrane of spoil-worthy territory. But I really did not know what to expect going into this movie. And so when I jumped off the battle bus and landed in my theater, which, mind you, the theater I went to go see this movie with my girlfriend, I didn't even know the theater existed in my area, and it seems like no one else did either, because we had the entire theater to ourselves to just talk about what was going on in the movie at full volume. It was wonderful, truly a unique experience. But watching this movie blew me away. I was filled with joy, whimsy, and a tad of hornswoggledness, which I recently learned is pronounced hornswoggle, not swaggle. Thank you, commenters. But moving on, I genuinely believe this is one of the greatest recent incarnations of Hopecore, and also a really good sign for cinema moving forward. For a few reasons. Because my first thought when I heard about this movie was, oh, a guy going into space to save Earth. What, so like Interstellar? What, is Pacific Rim like the Titanic because there's boats and water in it? No, it's a completely unique story that apparently originated from a book. I shouldn't say apparently. Everyone knowed about this book. Wow, okay. And seeing an original story get turned into a movie, and not only get turned into a movie, but a really good iteration of a movie, is extremely satisfying to me, because I feel like as of the past few years, with an occasional exception every once in a while from some gems getting dropped in, most of the highest grossing movies we see in theaters are sequels to previously created franchises, because people are probably less inclined to spend their money when they have less to spend, and so they feel that they are more likely to put their money towards something they know is going to be the exact same as something they've already seen before. Hence, you kind of know what I'm talking about, the MCU. But like, Project Hail Mary is a great sign of an original story thriving in the box office because it's simply just good. And I honestly, the reason I even wanted to make this video in the first place was to forward the word that it is good so more people go and see it, to support this sort of thing, so that movie makers are like, oh, wait, original stories are thriving right now. This is time for me to make my own. And then we see more gems like this get dropped in theaters. That's really almost the main intention of me making this video, aside from just glazing this movie, because it was absolutely amazing. For some reason, it is so good at bringing the emotions to the front door. You know what I'm saying? Like, I watched that movie, and I struggle with the idea of crying. Like, I never can bring myself to cry, even when I want to. And when I watched this movie, I still felt like there was some moistening going on right here, you know? Like, the weather was getting a little humid up here. Like, I was feeling it. I was really feeling it, which is shocking to me because of a thing that Disney made comments on recently. I'm gonna criticize Disney. Wow, I know, first time. Disney was talking about their main thing with The Mandalorian, which Mandalorian and Grogu is a movie coming out soon. And if you know The Mandalorian as a character, like, he wears his helmet all the time, and he wears his helmet about like 2% of the time in the trailer, and people were like, why is this happening? And Disney's like, well, how are we ever going to, like, have you guys understand the emotions the character's feeling if we can't show you their face? Meanwhile, Project Hail Mary puts a character made out of rock with no face, just rock, and somehow is drawing people to absolute tears, including myself to a degree. I mean, humidity, as I said. Like, I felt for that character, which I'm not going to delve into because, quite frankly, when I watched it with my girlfriend, she saw the first trailer for Project Hail Mary and not the second one. She was like, where's the rock guy come from? So, like, I don't want anyone to know anything more than the fact that there is rock. And we roll a little bit. That's also a reference. No is no. But I'm just so proud of a good creation being put out. I'm proud of humanity. You know, I like to occasionally take credit for something I didn't do and label it as me being proud of the fact that we as humans are able to create really unique and powerful art just through our own desire to do so. I think that film and cinema is one of the greatest creations that humanity will ever create, aside from maybe the toilet, because where else can I go? The street, like, realistically. Another reason I really love this movie, which draws back to the fact that it's not in a franchise, is the fact that while I was watching this, I didn't have the whole thought process of Ryan Gosling will return in Project Hail Mary 2. Like, I got to watch this movie, and truly every twist and every turn made me believe, like, oh, it's over. It's never been so over. The character's going to die now. Like, it's just... it's very well written in a way that allows you to ride the twists and turns of this roller coaster and not really be able to predict where it's going to go next to a degree. And I usually pride myself with being able to predict what a movie's going to do next, because a lot of movies have very telltale signs, little minute little micro movements in the plot that make me go, I know what you're doing with that. I see what you're doing. Put that down. Put that down. Like, I understand to a degree how movies usually run, and I think this movie still found a way to surprise me more than once. Like, probably, I think 3 or 4 times I went like, oh, yay, or oh no, like stuff like that. Things you're supposed to do when you're experiencing a movie. Like, you know, feeling emotions and things. And my God, was she a beaut. That was a visually stunning movie. I mean, case in point right behind me right now, look, there's the red. It was a really pretty movie, and these 3 seconds don't even cover all of it. You know, it was from the trailer, so clearly it had some sort of punch to it, but the entire movie really did a good job at showing you how beautiful and yet also how absolutely horrifying space is. Because space is horrifying. Like, the infinite vastness of space is absolutely horrifying. I already struggled to a degree with thalassophobia, the whole idea that I'm looking down into this infinite vastness of the deep dark blue, and there could be leviathans unbeknownst to me right below my feet. But the space is that cranked up to a 4 bajillion. So seeing, like, him look out in his spacesuit out into the vastness of space and look down, and it's just forever below him, is so cool. I think the movie is just absolutely beautiful, both on the scenes that happen in the space station and on Earth. I think that it was just, it's a not only a very good emotional watch, but a very good visually stunning, beautiful movie, which is usually something a movie can't capture both of. You know, usually it's a really good story, but the visuals aren't necessarily the most amazing thing in the world. A good case in point of this is Everything Everywhere All at Once. Everything Everywhere All at Once was a beautiful movie, but you can tell half the time that bitch was indie. You know, like one of their time travel thingamajig was a little goggles that have like an LED light on it. Like, I can tell that there was indie behind it, and that jankness led to it being an even more beautiful movie as a result. And of course, when it shined, it shined. But this movie took that and it shined the entire time. Occasionally in reds and look, some greens as well. And I haven't even scratched the surface of the performances in this movie. They're absolutely amazing. I'm not going to dig into them in detail in this video because I personally feel that I've already talked far longer than I needed to about what was supposed to be just a quick little yap about a viewing experience that I really enjoyed. But I just got to say, Ryan Gosling, he is very good at what he does. He gets the good jobs for a reason. I'm pretty sure I actually saw, funny I mentioned Everything Everywhere All at Once, that after this movie, he got hit up by the creators of Everything Everywhere All at Once to be the star of their next project. So we're about to see this boy cook, okay? We're about to see real W for twinks around the world right now. Anyway, I'm going to get out of here. I appreciate you guys watching this, and I would also appreciate you going to check the movie out. I think you would genuinely love it. I don't even know I don't know you watching me right now, but you know what I do know? It's a good movie, and I think that you should go and watch it. Ooh, I'm trying to hypnotize you. Thank you for watching. And as always, adios, arrivederci, goodbye, good night, and remember to have hope.